is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the InfoWar. U.S. Army builds fake city in Virginia to practice military occupation. That story's up on Infowars.com. It's the middle column of DrudgeReport.com as well. Martial law training, 300-acre town includes sports stadium, school, underground subway. The U.S. Army has built a 300-acre fake city, complete with sports stadium, school, and an underground subway in order to train for unspecified future combat scenarios. The recently opened site is located in Virginia and was built at a cost of $96 million, taking just 2 years to complete. While the city was ostensibly built to prepare U.S. troops for occupation of cities abroad, some will undoubtedly fear the real intention will be closer to home. Although the site includes a mosque, the town looks like an American city in every other way, with the signs in English. The fact that a Telegraph reports the subway carriages even carry the same logo as the carriages in Washington, D.C., could suggest the site was built to both double as a foreign city and as a mock domestic town. Well, the whole military training is their main mission, domestic, so, and their enemy being the Tea Party. So, according to Colonel John P. Petkoski, this is the place where we can create, where we can come up with solutions for problems we don't know we have yet. This is where we'll look at solutions for the future, material solutions and non-material solutions, anything from how you're going to operate in a subterranean environment to how you dismount a Humvee to avoid IED strike. The increasing demonization of domestic political groups as extremists has prompted numerous scenarios where commentators have suggested the U.S. Army and National Guard personnel could be needed to quell civil unrest. This is a very, quote, fairly written article by Paul. I'm not criticizing our writer, but to the point of almost absconding with the truth. This is all for domestic operations with a separate dual training operation internationally. The whole thing is geared up for us domestically. The bullets, the training, the manuals, that's official National Guard announcements, quote, preparing to crush a Tea Party rebellion, and then the gun owners are going to attack and all this. In a 2012 academic study about the future use of military as a peacekeeping force within the United States, written by a retired Army colonel, depicted a shocking scenario in which U.S. Army is used to restore order in a town that's been seized by Tea Party insurrectionists, close quote. The study dovetailed a leaked U.S. Army manual, which revealed plans for the military to carry out civil disturbance operations, including confiscating firearms, quelling riots, mass civil unrest, and, quote, how we would be re-educated. This is on the Army's website, folks. I'm not making this up. They even used the Soviet term. So it's a good article. He gets into all the meat at the end, and I guess it's very journalistic. He writes it as if it could be two different things, but we know what it is. So at a certain point, it's like there's this modern journalistic thing where you don't say, it's like a red fire engine pulls up and you go, the fireman claimed it was a red Ford fire truck they were driving, and it said Ford on it, and it was red. And it had chrome all over it, and there was a Dalmatian sitting in the back. And then I watched it turn on its sirens and drive down the road and spray water on stuff. I mean, it's just Army times everything, 24/7. Yes, Brigade Homeland. Yeah, we're going to take your guns. You know, when they confiscated guns in New Orleans for like 2 weeks, people didn't believe me when I was on air playing local newscast. Now everybody knows that happened, but the issue is there's this denial right up front that has to stop. And I'm not criticizing Watson. I don't have time to call up and give him pointers, when I'm off air. Not that I have all the answers. He gives me a lot of pointers as well. It's just that, all of us just, this is what is happening, myself included. The tyranny is so naked now that we've almost got tyranny fatigue, where we're just so used to it now that we're like, well, we guessed it could be for some good uses. Obviously, they need to know how to dismount a Humvee for IED attack, or how to land a helicopter in an area where it doesn't have IEDs. Don't land where it's a good landing spot. That's the rule. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula, sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. Because this is a frontal assault on their main vehicle, Obama. And that doesn't mean the Republican leadership is good either. John Boehner and all them are just as bad or worse. The issue is that Obama's been a very effective evil, like Cynthia McKinney has said on the show. He's not a lesser of two evils. He's a more effective of evils. And because it makes it trendy to do all this evil. And the video is just amazing how it exposes the just anti-human, pro-evil garbage that's being sold as a wonderful thing. So that's coming up as soon as we get his and our Skype working together. That happens sometimes. Right now, let's go to Trey in Alabama, and we'll go to Mike and Brenda and everybody else. Trey, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Alex?
Worldwide broadcast. Good to have you on.
I wanted to talk about the bankers, the elite bankers that have basically thrown themselves off buildings the past, I think it was last week. You've had
Yes, 5 top ones the last 2 weeks and dozens of other mid-level ones. I think they're being killed, but what do you think?
Personally, I don't know if it has to do with they know something that's coming that we don't, or they found something out, or it's like in 29, or the stock market crash that happened before that, bankers were throwing themselves off buildings because...
See, I could lose everything I've got, and I would be happy. I don't understand people that commit suicide because they lose everything. I just don't get that. I mean, these guys aren't losing everything yet, though. That was the mid-level folks in 29, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm trying to war game this out here. It was the people that lost everything and were in debt who committed suicide over the embarrassment. It wasn't the insiders who got even richer. I think they're getting rid of people that know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, possibly. Could it have any connection to the global reset that everyone's talking about that could be coming up? Because nobody wants our dollar anymore, I don't know.
Yeah, but if these guys have millions or billions of dollars, why don't they just tap out, get out, move to Switzerland like everybody else does?
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for what you're saying.
Well, it's like Matt Drudge said 2 weeks ago in the corporatist media, the dinosaur media, literally on its last leg said, oh, look, he's implying you should leave as if we're in a tyranny. Let them eat cake. And it just shows how out of touch they are. Anybody who studies basic history knows we are sitting on top of a powder keg with about 100 burning sparklers falling from the sky right now. And I don't know when it's going to blow up or how it's going to blow up, but it's a question of not if, but when. Anything else?
Well, see, you got that thing that we got to keep our eyes on that Lindsey Graham said when the news came up missing. That's one thing that has me very worried. I think he came out too early. That was going to be their little, announcement, wink, wink, before they do something about blowing up, Charleston or New York. You remember Lindsey Graham's statement, or do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember in CBS News at a press conference hours after we reported the missing nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and see, I don't know, the people say, Iran has the ships out in close to our waters or whatever. It would just be really convenient for an American city to get nuked to draw us into Iran, or to, hell, 9/11, we could pretty much attack anybody out we wanted. It gave us... Exactly.
I mean, I don't think the head of the Iranian military is stupid enough to actually say the U.S. doesn't know we have sleeper cells in North America, and they don't know how we're going to strike back against them, and then send over some small destroyers as if that means anything. I mean, just begging the empire to destroy them and take our liberties at the same time. And then some listeners think I'm calling for war with Iran. No, I'm calling for Iran. What do you think Iran's up to?
It doesn't make sense to me, because we got nothing out of the deal. With them, it appears, and I don't know. I'm clueless. I'm puzzled.
Yeah, I'm very rarely puzzled. And, I mean, stuff's very serious. I appreciate...
Think about Breitbart and Tom Clancy and the Rolling Stone guy that were working on... They were all working together on something, and now they're dead. You know? So...
Well, let me tell you, I'm blessed that I'm not pushing up daisies. I hear you. I appreciate your call. Let's go to Mike in Illinois. Thanks for holding. You're listening on WCKG. I just hear people are calling from. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, thanks for taking my call. Just found you on the radio dial about 5-6 weeks ago. I enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I only get your first 2 hours. Hey, I don't want to change the subject, but I'm going to bring this up. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I know you're aware of fluoride and aspartame and all that other garbage that they've got in our food and drink. Have you ever heard of chelation or EDTA? Are you familiar with that at all?
Yes, there's a lot of different forms of chelation to get toxins out of your body.
Okay. Well, I was bringing... The reason I'm bringing it up is I work at a fairly large defense contractor, and just since Christmas, we've had about 5 or 6 of my coworkers have had heart attacks due to blocked arteries. And then, you know, the doctors tell them you got to get this bypass surgery or you're going to die. And chelation is so safe and it's so effective that there's a lot of countries where it's actually illegal for the doctors to do that bypass surgery. So I'm not sure if your audience is aware of that, but I just...
Sure. Well, they never tell you to... Why do you think so many people are having heart trouble where you work?
Well, yeah. Well, it's a rhetorical question. But, you know, I mean, it's over a couple thousand employees, so it's statistically it's probably not significant. And, again, most of these guys are in their, you know, late 40s, early 50s, early 60s, so it's probably around the time that those kinds of problems are going to show up. But it's a shame that more people are not aware of it as an alternative to these angioplasties or these bypass surgeries, which, you know, have anywhere from a 5 to a 8 or 9% morbidity rate. And, you know, chelation is totally safe and it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, they killed Neil Armstrong in one of those surgeries. I appreciate your call. Thank you so much. Thank you. Brenda in New Mexico, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Call. I wanted you to hear something that we got from the county that I left on my answering machine. Are you ready?
Okay, well, tell me about it.
It's ones that's asking for us to all get vaccines in our county, for us and our neighbors. We've never had this happen before, and one of them is a red alert that we all have to sign up for.
Yeah, I know. But you don't have to sign up for that. Government, though, is inducing you through contract fraud. They even have folks under federal grants that come bang on your door and say, time to get your shots. And the big pharma is actually being paid. It's a big corporate boondoggle. And all the statistics show these vaccines are deadly. And again, I'm not saying the science of inoculation doesn't have some merits in history. The problem is you can't trust these big companies. They're putting other stuff in them. And even a good vaccine ends up lowering your immunity, just like antibiotics do. And by the way, the good news is... after a little bit of pressure, Chick-fil-A is going to stop getting chicken that has antibiotics in it.
Now, would you like to hear this, though?
Yeah. In fact, you could scan it and send it to showtips@infowars.com. I'm aware it's been going on, but you just said we're required to sign up for this red alert. Tell me about it.
Well, it's an audio. I've actually made a recording of it for you to hear.
Oh, so it was sent to you over your phone?
Yes, sir, and I saved it.
Yeah, government, I told you to start sending you video, audio, first was text, fear-mongering you, and then literally turning your phone on at night. Yeah, go ahead and play the audio.
Okay, just a second. Here we go.
No new messages. All message played back. No new messages. All message played back. Important message for all residents and businesses located in Torrance County. We have licensed the Code Red Community Notification System to help disseminate important or critical information. We encourage all residents and businesses to go to the Torrance County website at torrancecountynm.org. Click on the Code Red logo located just below the department listings on the main page and enter their contact information, including additional phone numbers, text, and email addresses to ensure all of the data in our system is accurate and current. If you know of anyone who did not receive this call who lives in Torrance County, please encourage them to visit the Torrance County website and enter their information. If you do not have internet access, please contact a friend or family member to help add your contact information to the emergency database. You can also call the Torrance County Dispatch Center directly at 384-1022 for assistance. That number again is 384-1022. Thank you.
Now, just a second. I have one more for you. Sure,
but and again, first it's missing ladies.
All message.
And then it's missing kids, and then it's
5, 6, 7, 8. Just a second. Here's one more.
I understand. Then it's turn your neighbor in.
This is the Torrance County 911 Dispatch Center with an important announcement from the New Mexico Department of Health. The New Mexico Department of Health, in partnership with Torrance County government, will be providing flu vaccinations on Friday, February 14th, from noon until 6 p.m. at the McLeod Medical Center located in Moriarty, New Mexico. The immunization clinic is open to the public at no cost. For more information on the no-charge flu shot clinic, please call the Moriarty Public Health Office at 832-6782 or the Torrance County Emergency Manager's Office at 246-4748.
This is government pushing its services.
Is this bizarre?
No, ma'am.
You would like to hear all that.
No, I would. Go ahead and turn your machine off now, and let me just tell you what's happening.
Okay, just a second.
Disseminate important...
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. They tried this in the 80s. All the new radios in your car you buy at the store, most of the cost is a chip in them that picks up shortwave or AM from government transmitters that orders it to turn on. Some of them even have a capacitor so it can operate for a time without plug power. And then it gives you orders. Over your cell phone, you get Obama emails. My dad gets them every day. I get them every week. The flashing signs that say we've got an Alzheimer's missing woman. It all sounds reasonable, but then it can be jacked in to be a political tool. You heard it saying, tell your neighbors, give us their data. And in the future, it will be, you will arrive at this point or you will be arrested later. So this is government now getting into your life, taking over your phones, taking over your computers, data mining you, and using your phone number and information to call up. This is 911 with an emergency information for you. All to, again, prepare you to interface with government to be bossed around. That's what the TSA is. Normal people who aren't criminals aren't supposed to have regular contact with bureaucrats. But you're being prepared to literally be bathed in these people. And the new work projects during the Depression won't be building dams or park sites. It will be being part of the tattletale squads and reporting on neighbors' guns. And all of this has already been done in other countries, in Europe and other places. And so this is a takeover plan. And it is absolutely authoritarian. They have Walmarts all over the country where you go up to a robot kiosk and it goes, Obamacare helps you. Now buy health care. And then it told Jakari Jackson, who's got 3% body fat, that he was obese. And, you know, it tells people who have low blood sugar that they're, diabetic, even though they have low blood sugar. It's total quack garbage. You know, you go into one of these computers now, my grandmother did, and they said, have you had sugary snacks today? Yes. And then you go, well, then we can't give you the test, for diabetes. You never had it, though, at, 89 or whatever. This happened just last year. And so still they said, well, the computer says you're diabetic, even though you ate sugary snacks, and the blood test, shows that you had a little bit of high blood sugar, but it's not diabetes. We're just going to go ahead and say you're diabetic, take this pill. And then she took the pill and passed out and, basically almost died because it took her blood sugar down to nothing. And my dad called up the doctor, because my dad's a physician, and said, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do I forget the name of the test, where they slice up the red blood cells and go back over a month to get the real average of the blood sugar. They just said, well, we don't do that now. We follow Obamacare. So Obamacare, and so my dad took her back to another doctor. No, you don't even have high sugar. You're in really great shape for 89 years old. You don't need any drugs. But this is America. It's all run by robots. It's all run by computers. It's all run by centralized committees, and all your data is public. And this is the beginning. I told everybody forever, it's going to start with, there's an old lady missing, there's a child missing, and next it's going to be report illegal guns. Well, they now have the images flashing showing a revolver report illegal guns all over the country, including Austin. And the carpet cleaner comes to your house and sees a Colt 911 45 framed above your bed. You are going to be SWAT teamed. Doesn't matter if the gun's completely legal. When they get a call, they respond, they take the guns, and you don't get them back. And then they go, you'll give your guns back, go to psychological evaluation. Well, it's their psychological evaluator. And they go, are you mad about your gun being taken? Well, yeah, I have no criminal record, and it was legal, and they pushed my head in the ground. I'm upset. Well, that's an opposition to authority paranoia in the psychological manual. Your guns are all gone, and now CPS is going to be there next week. They don't even tell you that. They go, you can go now. Then CPS comes and takes your kids. No judge, no jury, you've done nothing, your life's over. Hardcore, they rule, they control. Drink your fluoride, take your shots, roll over and die. Give your kid a shot in the hospital, have them convulse right in front of you, never talk again. You try to get in that doctor's face, here come cops. The cops got brain damaged kids. Nobody cares. We love death, we're going to get it. High tech, hell released, you want it, you got it. And yes, those type of garbage alerts are the exact type of thing we're dealing with. Anything else, ma'am?
That's it. I just wanted you to hear it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you calling in. There goes Brenda. Lee in Georgia. You're on the air, first-time caller.
Alex, how's it going, man?
I'm a little bit under the weather, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Hey, I hear you, brother. Hey, we appreciate you. We all appreciate you out here, man. By the way, happy belated 40th, too.
Thank you, brother.
No problem, man. Hey, I have kind of a multifaceted topic here that deals with something that one of your callers earlier was talking about the mega bankers' suicide.
Yes, I want to hear what you have to say on that.
Yes, sir. How do you think that their deaths play into the foreign exchange scandal that's happening right now?
Elaborate on that, and I'll give you my answer.
Well, I would just like to get your take on the speculation of how this is going to affect the Iraqi dinar revaluation.
I'm not ignoring you, sir. I was talking to somebody. They were giving me some information. I'm going to call them right back during the break. I don't usually take calls during a break. I heard your question. I was going to have you talk some more and then go back to it. Look, I don't know why the bankers are dying. There are all sorts of scandals going on right now. There are all sorts of things unfolding right now and all sorts of corruption. But I believe these bankers are being murdered. They're not committing suicide. Because they don't do that. They always run. Why should they commit suicide? And it's always like comptroller level for the mafias that are behind the scenes, like something out of the Pelican Brief. So it's still just speculation, so I don't like to get into it too much.
Yes, sir. Like I said, there's a lot of speculation, especially on the internet, about how the Iraqi dinar is going to be revaluated. A lot of people think that's coming close to time for the dinar to, be traded as foreign exchange.
Well, here's the deal. A lot of people invested in dinar, and I told them not to. And Iraq is in a mess. The oil is denominated in dollars, and they've already inflated the Iraqi currency so much, and it's gone up and down that, I don't think bankers are going to be killing themselves over the dinar, but I appreciate your call. They'd be getting killed over who was involved in derivatives and J.P. Morgan and all these settlements that they're making right now for all the scams they've run. Ralph in Texas, go ahead. You got about a minute and 10 seconds.
Alex, I was just calling about your earlier guest I want to say that he was completely wrong about Dr. Michio Kaku. Dr. Michio Kaku is a really smart theoretical physicist, and all those quacky things that he was saying about the telepathy and the telekinesis.
No, I get it. I get it. I know he's a serious guy with like string theory and a lot of other stuff he's been involved in. But then he does go out in a lot of other theoretical areas that the transhumanists are promoting. So I understand that. The point is he's not a meteorologist, and he's pushing global warming. I want to go back to the caller. Was that Ralph in Texas I was just talking to? I want to be able to finish his point about Michio Kaku, that I was calling Michio Kaku. Just being silly, folks. You got to have some fun with this. And then Roger in Canada and others. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. And then I'm going to get into a video that just went up on Infowars.com that is excellent and comes from a comedy perspective. Some of it's a little bit racy from maybe a 10th grade perspective. But it's the folks that made American Dream, that great animated 30-minute film. And it breaks it down, so we're going to be... In fact, will you guys print me off that data sheet on it just so I have it? It's video, Baby's Got a Gun, and I'm going to tweet that out at Real Alex Jones here in just a few minutes, and I'm going to play that video that gives you statistics and facts. And it's all about getting people already that are very successful and have all these platinum records like Korn and others to speak out against the tyranny. But it's about getting grassroots filmmakers to make their own films and counter the lies. That's what it's really all about. And I get that physicist Michio Kaku is a smart guy. The point is they couldn't get a regular meteorologist or even astrophysicist on. They got a guy on. I read his quotes about how unusual warm is causing the freeze. They even put that in that Al Gore supported movie. It was a fiction, The Day After Tomorrow, whatever it was, that Art Bell was involved in, and the whole world freezes because it's so warm. I mean, just give me a break, folks. The sun is the main driver. It's about taxes, and the whole carbon tax thing distracts from all the crises in our environment. The overfishing, the toxic waste dumping, the toxic pesticides that are being used, and the chemical fertilizers that don't give you the nutrients you need. There's thousands of the honeybees dying. But it all comes down to taxing carbon because we're a carbon-based economy. And I'm not saying oil's great. They've suppressed all sorts of other technology by funding the fake green movement, windmills and all this stuff. I'm sick of them acting like they're the progressives that want humanity to progress when they're the Agenda 21ers on record, that say they want to shut down society for the general public as a tool of control. I know their internal documents. I know their political writings. I know who they are. Now, I don't know if Kaku is a bad guy individually. But I know that him saying this is global warming is a load of bull. So for 17 years, the Earth's been cooling compared to the warming cycle we've had since the 50s. And, folks, I've read the history books that were written hundreds of years ago. It wasn't about global warming. It wasn't about debating. It was about, for a 10-year period, the major rivers in England all froze over. And then for 50 years, nothing froze over. There used to be grapes 1,000 years ago growing in northern England. Now you can't grow grapes there. There's cycles. There was the Hyperion Maxim 10,000 years ago, where northern Europe was like the Bahamas or something. I mean, I'm just sick. I mean, it was like 15 degrees hotter or something on average. It was insane. And paying money to the globalist is not going to fix things. So that's why we were calling him cuckoo and stuff, because he's not cuckoo. I think he knows what he's doing. Now, Ralph, I don't want to just... You tell me what you have an issue with. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about getting a theoretical physicist to talk about climate. I think that's dumb. But the thing with the kooky things that he says about telekinesis and telepathy and things like that, he's talking about like what you say about the advancement in technology and how we'll be able to have portable MRIs that already can take crude images.
They already have that in the airports as a test 10 years ago. No. I hear you. Go ahead.
Right, and they'll be able to make a mobile version of this, and that's how we'll be able to have a kind of telepathy that he's talking about it.
No, listen. So, they've got studies showing magnetic lines that birds navigate off magnetics, that humans have those cells. It's really just science, and people don't sixth sense, all of it. And so I don't think that discredits him. I actually think he's a really smart guy, and that's why I actually get mad at him when he's saying it's global warming, just because that's like a liberal sacrament. And I had some of the crew was like, hey, man, Michio Kaku is pretty interesting guy. Why are you saying that? I was just going along with Moreno. Moreno's just mad at him because he's lying about global warming and not using science. And so he was getting into some of his more theoretical stuff, but I hear you.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.